So today we are here, we're gonna do a workout. We're gonna answer some questions that I got on my DMs for Instagram, and we're all gonna go ahead and get some work in. I got my boy Ryan coming. He came by. He was one of my mentorees that I've been working with online for what, 3 months now?
About 3 months,
yep.
All the way from Texas.
Doing a lot of good things with the fire departments out there. Man, I'm truly blessed to have somebody like this guy to actually, you know, put his trust in me. And now he's come down to Florida to catch some work with us at ATT, and then he's also here to get some work with me now at my training lab that I like to call. So we're gonna get it in and just follow along. We're also gonna answer those questions, so let's do this. What we're doing today is basically, it's my lower body max effort day. So I did jiu-jitsu this morning, so I'm gonna go ahead and taper it down a little bit. We're not gonna do a max single, we are gonna do a max triple. Ryan's gonna do 5x5 because he just flew on a plane, right? And again, we're working on that back. We're making sure everything's nice and stable for that. So we're gonna work through that. We're gonna do some accessory work. And again, we're gonna go ahead and answer some of these questions. But first thing I gotta do is warm up. So what we're gonna do is that slide out, right? So with this one, right, I want you to slide. Remember, hip hinge first, load the hip, right? Starts from the feet. So big toe into the ground, right? Screw the feet in, create the false arch. Squeeze the glute to start in hip extension. From there, you can, I always say, start like you finish, finish like you start, right? So we start here, lock down, brace the arms, so squeeze your fist to create irradiation, lock down your lats so you can create good posture. So we're here, locking everything down. I go to slide out, I'm gonna kick my hips back. As I kick my hips back, I'm gonna spread the floor apart with my down leg, driving, 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 and then drive up when I reach the end. So with these questions now, I'm gonna get into more depth and detail on my podcast, but I'm just gonna go off the cuff, off of these Instagram questions that you guys gave to me. Okay, so can you discuss on the podcast, I'm gonna do it on YouTube for right now. All right, education one must have to be a good, knowledgeable S&C coach to cater to different sports. What certifications do you recommend? And do you think a degree in sports science is a must or get experience through apprenticeship and certifications? Thanks, Phil. This is from JJ Adams 23 on Instagram. I think you need both, right? I definitely think you need to have a baseline of knowledge from schooling, whether that be from the education system, getting a bachelor's degree, especially if you want to work in the collegiate setting, anything like that. If you also want to be somewhat of a higher ranking, if you want to have notoriety, you want to have something on your resume, it's very good to start out with also having a certification so they know that you're not just talking bullshit, but you also have to have that practical application. You need to have the experience primarily, right, Ryan?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I think that a lot of times where guys, with my young kids, they come fresh out of school and they think they know, but you have to know people. You have to know how to actually auto-regulate. You need to know how to train them, you know, on a daily basis, on the fly. Now, I know that was an elaborate, more of a question than an answer, but that's how I'm gonna do, you guys. It was supposed to be off the cuff, but I'm gonna give you more of that, right? All right, let's get to it. All right, so now I'm gonna get into safety bar, SSB bar. I like this bar primarily because it gives my elbows and my shoulders a break. Also, it distributes the weight higher on my back, so now I have to work more overall quads and I have to keep my core nice and stable. So it kind of translates over to my weak points, whereas I'm more of a hamstring dominant, hip dominant squatter. So putting this up on my back allows me to push more with my quads. So I'm increasing my ability to squat overall. All right, so this is a question from one of my fighters, believe it or not. Steve Creepy Weasel. Yeah, he always gives me the good questions. So it says, how are you able to balance between your program and what a specific fighter might require? Say, for example, having to train around a certain injury. This is what I do on a daily basis. If you're not able to do this as a coach, then chances of you progressing the athlete is going to be slim to none. So you need to know, you need to have plan B in line so that if you do have something going on, say for instance, a combat sport athlete comes in with contusion on his shin and he can't do any plyometrics. Obviously, we're gonna have to auto-regulate, we're gonna have to move things around, but it still matches the system that we had laid out. We just make sure that we correlate that subjectively to the individual. So you need to have a base method that you can utilize, but also you need to auto-regulate on spot with that particular individual so that you can progress them going further. Thanks, Steve. Last night, good. So next question is from Chuck Danger 03 on Instagram, and he called me hashtag Viking Goku. That's what he called me. So shout out to you. All right. He said, how do we periodize ballistic training? Do you utilize progressive overload with your athletes, or do you just emphasize the speed portion of the force velocity curve and use med balls, etc., according to somebody's weight, i.e. Andrei Arlovski using a bigger ball than Poirier? Yes, on the second. So basically what I'll use is, obviously we run a conjugate method sequence. So each and every week is going to be an increase in their dynamic movement. We'll go through a 3-week pendulum wave, and we can utilize heavy med balls and also weighted jumps, right? I don't do long-term block periodization and progressive overload in that way in a block sequencing. We do use conjugate methods so that they can get that stimulus each and every week. Boom. Come on. Oh, 5, here we go, easy 5, come on. Up, 2, good. Up, 3, good, come on. Double, up, last one. Up, drive, good. Okay, next question from JR_AC. Asks certain foods for fighters to eat before or after workouts, and how long before and after should you wait to eat? Supplements that should be used as well. Okay, for supplements before workouts, especially when you're talking about grappling and also weight training, beta-alanine, creatine, 5 grams. I like to do creatine before sparring as well because it has been known to help with traumatic brain injury. Studies have shown that. So we like to use about 2.5 grams before sparring and also obviously before weight training. Branched chain amino acids, 5 grams. You can use essential amino acids throughout the day. I do like those as well. And obviously a whey protein shake is gonna be beneficial for post-workout. Again, when you're talking about foods, primarily if you're talking about training, which is high glycolytic, whether it be something of high lactic, so like wrestling practice or grappling practice or even weight training in a hypertrophy stage or doing some repetition, you want to make sure that you're getting your carbs in. So fast digested carbohydrates to increase insulin, increase your insulin back up. So white rice is good, and then obviously a clean source of protein. Boom. Z Salman from Instagram writes, so much of the power in grappling comes from glutes and lower back. What would you consider the single most important movement or exercise to do for this? For the low back and the glutes, deadlift, obviously, right? So compound lift, right? You can do it from conventional for the low back, primarily for the hamstrings. If you want to work the hips, you're gonna go ahead and work on the sumo. Right? You can work the trap bar too if you limit the range of motion, but nothing will beat the conventional deadlift for overall back and glute strength. Boom. max effort lift done. Not bad, felt okay. Actually, I felt pretty strong, just kidding. So now we're gonna get into our special exercises and our accessory work. Right, Ryan's gonna go ahead and work from a pin press or a pin good morning. So he's gonna go right from the concentric, right from the hinge, driving up. I'm gonna go ahead and go low bar or low handle on the trap bar so I can really work my quads again, right? So working quads, he's working his back. Let's do this. Talk about all right, so last question, all right, from M_Aliev from Instagram. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name, bro. Hi, what kind of push exercise would be best for punching? When you're talking about a push, I'm assuming you mean a press variation or a push variation. It really just depends, right? So for a true lockout, at the end range of your punch, I do like to work floor presses. You can also use a landmine for push press, right? But that's primarily not usually an upper body, quote unquote, pushing movement. It's more of like a full body because you are dipping into it. But those are the types of ones that you can utilize. You can use a tall kneeling landmine push press where you're eliminating the legs if you truly want to work the upper body. And then obviously nothing's going to beat that floor press where you're actually having to push through the end range. I also like to utilize bands for accommodated resistance so that you can never have deceleration of the bar, plus it eliminates joint shearing. Five, four, three, two, drive, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, drive, hold. 4, 3, 2, up. 5, 4, 3, 2, up, and finish. So what you do is, when you want to increase strength in the hamstring through different ranges, go to a pause position, right, and do a static hold at each range where you feel the weakest at. Get comfortable in that range, gain the capacity to get into that range. That's also gonna strengthen up the tissue and it's gonna strengthen up the joints, right? So again, slow eccentric, squeeze the glutes, get in full extension, you come out, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, down, 5, 4, 3, 2, down, 5, 4, 3, 2, up, 5, 4, 3, 2, up, 5, 4, 3, 2, finish. All right, so that's a wrap. You've seen what we did today. I answered your questions. I got my training in. My boys came down to train with me. We got some things ironed out. We also did some corrective exercises and also helped on some deficiencies and dysfunction. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Hit the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'll be pumping out 3 to 4 videos a week. And make sure you hit the notifications so you know when my videos come out. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.